Rap is out of control.
Rap is out of control. Shade 45, Riz in the Eclipse, and a whole lot of superstars in the place tonight.
Where? Who win?
Right there, OC. We got PF Cuttin. We have Ill Bill. We have a lot of New York history right here in the place. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Let's just this like
OGs, but young OGs.
Exactly, and it's like 6 degrees of separation here because
that's right.
I originally came to New York via MC Search and met Riz. Me and Riz were DJing for Search, so that's how we connected. And then Search took a job at Wild Pitch, and then I took a job at Wild Pitch, and then OC got signed to Wild Pitch, so we had that connection right there.
Yep, you took me on my first tour.
No doubt. And then PF Cuttin was putting out mixtapes around the same time in the 90s when we was at Wild Pitch, and you know, those are some of the tapes. You had to get PF Cuttin tapes, and shout out to Tony Touch, and you know, Camilla was making some ill tapes back then. Those are the dudes that were making the ill tapes if you wanted to hear what was going on.
They had the stamps on them too.
So PF was the connection there.
Yep.
And then Ill Bill, Sabak ran into Ill Bill on the streets of New York, and when Sabak was interning, doing college radio at that Wild Pitch, and brought Bill back to Wild Pitch, and that was the beginnings of nonfiction.
Riz is connected to that story too.
How is Riz connected to that story?
Riz is connected to the story because the record that I gave Sabak to bring to Search that piqued his interest for us to meet was. It was 2 ways. I met Search the first time where Riz sent me and Necro up to Search to get passes that Search had extra for the World Supremacy Battle.
New Music Seminar.
So that was from you, Riz.
I don't remember.
That was the first time I ever met Search in person, and he tried to play me, gas face me, because I told him that I was still friends with Fatal. He asked me if I still fucks with Fatal, because me and Fatal were doing business together, and that was also business situation for Search. Fatal.
Right.
Shout out to Joe Fatal.
Yeah.
And Joe Fatal at the time was working with me a little previously to me meeting Search, but Search was like, "Do you still fucks with Fatal?" And I didn't want to be disloyal. He's my friend. I didn't, but I think Search took that as I still work with him, and he was just like, he beatboxed me. He gave me the Jennifer Lopez beatbox and walked away. He gave us the pass. That was the first time I met him, and then the second time was through the record, and that record was the record that Orlando Aguian put out on Southport. You called me up. I was like, they stole your name, Bill, because my voice sounded weird because I was experimental. That I was doing all types of different voices. Thank you for calling me that day and notifying me about that record. I was like, play it for me, Riz. I want to hear what my imposter sounds like. And sure enough, it was me.
Wow.
I was like, Riz, that's
crazy
me.
story.
Didn't even know he had a record out.
Right.
So Riz, you actually notified me about my debut on vinyl.
And then we all ended up signing the Searchlight.
That's right.
Yeah. Searchlight had everything except PF. PF didn't sign the Searchlight.
Yeah, except PF.
Word, but we all here now, and it's very good to see consistency.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying with what everyone is doing, especially you, O, because you know you took the hiatus for a minute and was like, all right, you know. Then you came back and did some stuff here and there. You did the Apollo Brown joint.
Yeah, that was 2012?
Something like that. Yeah.
That was like the best record that year.
Yeah.
That was the best record that came out that year.
Man, I love the music, but I just don't like the game.
Of course. I hear you 100% on that.
I don't like playing the game.
Not at all.
I'm too old to play the game.
But my point is that you are needed because you are part of the generation that set standards.
Right.
And so every time I hear a new record from you, it's just like this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? This is how it's supposed to sound. Not, I mean, you know, everyone doesn't have to rhyme like OC, but this is the type of person, like, just when you listen to it, there's no flaws in the delivery. You know what I'm saying? It's like classic material, and you've never lost a step with that over the years. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think with the exception of a few of our peers, like, some of us are just timeless like that. Like, we know how to make music.
Exactly.
I don't care how old we get or whatever the case may be. But it wasn't a case of me not making music because I just was tired of the BS in the business, man.
Of course.
And it can wear you out.
Right. Most definitely.
You know
And shout out to Kev Brown, who a few days ago actually announced on all his social networks that he was stepping out of the game. For the same reasons. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kev Brown, ill producer, and he shut down all his social networks, and he was just like, "Yo, I'm done." Like, because he loves making music, but does not like the game.
Yeah,
you know
the politics of the game. Yep. And, we don't. It's an elephant in the room. Like, it's crews and cliques in this shit, man. Like, these cats say they cool with you, but you know what it is.
Of course, most definitely.
It's your lunchroom table shit.
And I don't play them games. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. None of us do. That's why we all stay independent and stay in our lanes and like just we build our own brands, because it's like you can't sit around waiting on someone else to do something for you. It's like that's how the whole indie scene started for us. It's like we were everyone back in the 90s wanted to get signed. That was the whole thing. It wasn't until Stretch and Bob were playing joints on the radio, Fat Beats opened up, and it's just like, let's just start putting out stuff ourselves. And
but think about that. Stretch and Bob was playing joints. We didn't need a label.
I know.
We didn't need a label. Yo, it's great. Now we think about that.
They broke everything.
They broke everything.
Yeah.
We didn't need a label.
The first time I ever heard Cypress Hill was on Stretch and Bob.
Facts.
Wu-Tang, Stretch and Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Nas, Stretch and Bob.
Yeah.
First time I heard any of them was Stretch and Bob.
Yeah. We didn't need labels, baby.
No. As the Jizza says, fuck the labels.
Tommy ain't my mother.
All right, so PF Cuttin is here, OC is here, Ill Bill is here, and we have so much more to talk about, but we're not going to talk your ears off in one break. So we're going to go right back to music. We'll come back shortly, and we're going to talk some Cannibal Hulk. Yeah. Rap is out of control.
Check it out. It's the incredible mathematics of Rapology, and you're listening to DJ Eclipse and DJ Riz on Rap is Out of Control.